The latest news to your favorite tune. We've got your back morning, night, and afternoon. Join our family, connect with your crew. Please have them. His Excellency George Weah, President of Liberia. Our board noted that His Excellency's victory as the African Political Leader of the year 2023 is a testament to his contributions to promoting peace, African culture and development, youth and sports development, and advancing Africa's agenda globally. It is also a recognition of his critical role in the infrastructural and socio-economic development of his country as well as his people-friendly policies. He has continued to advocate for peace and free and fair elections in the ECOWAS sub-region, and this was demonstrated by a show of statesmanship and iconic posturing by accepting electoral loss and congratulating the winner. While he arguably had options as a sitting president, he chose the path of honor, peace, and the defense of democracy. His emergence reaffirms our position that he has remained one of the continent's leading light, as he had continued to demonstrate great faith in the African project, promoting African dignity and helping to change the negative narratives about the continent.
Before we continue telling today, we are citizens. If there is no way that our country is safe, we cannot practice in our respective professions. When we are at war, pastors will not be respected to go to church to preach. When we are at war, medical doctors will not be able to go to hospitals except for coercion or medical condition. When we are at war, lawyers will not be able to go to court to practice. That's why when you see these things happening, whether you are a lawyer, whether you are one of the profession, you have to step down and protect your country. So that that country will provide an avenue for you to be the kind of person that you want to be. And that's where we are now. What happened yesterday was wrong. It's still wrong. And no matter what it is wrong. We are seeing things happening in this country, and people are now seeing it as being right because the Asa is there. And these are things that we got to be stand up to be a patriot. You have to stand first on the side of the law because the politicians will go away. The regime will pass away, but your country will stay. The law will stay. Your patriotism vow will continue to stay on. And these are things that we got to stand up for. It doesn't matter if you're on the side you want to be on. We just got to stick to the truth. And that is very much important.
I see in the next few months a nicer country, a very noisy country, rowdy country, a heavily divided country, a very tough economy, a sense of elitism by those who are coming at the hem of authority. The coming in of the Unity Party is going to multiply the economic woes, the economic conundrum, the economic quagmire, the suffering of the Liberian people is going to multiply. We are not prophets of doom, but the reality will come.
Earlier today, placed special goodwill telephone calls to former presidents Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and George Manuel Weah, as well as eminent national leaders Benedict Wilfred Ure and Alexander Benedict Cummings. I also reached out to the Liberia Council of Churches and the National Muslim Council of Liberia, as well as the chairman of the National Council of Chiefs and Elders of Liberia. This is our own way of forging the spirit of unification and inclusion, assuring all that our doors remain open for any meaningful engagement that will help our hands in nation building. As we commemorate this important day, let us recommit to the principles of national unity, patriotism, and collective progress. Let's each do our part wherever we are and in whatever we do to build a Liberia that is peaceful, equitable, and prosperous for all. May God bless us all, and may He continue to bless and save the Republic of Liberia.
The wounds of tribalism, the wounds of exclusion, the wounds of economic injustice and political and gender violence. We must dare to believe that tomorrow can and will be better by creating the space for reconciliation, dialogue, restorative justice, and for building bridges across our divides. Because reconciliation is an ongoing process, and in an effort to build on what you have started, I hereby propose the establishment of a standing national commission on reconciliation. This body, nonpartisan or nonpartisan and inclusive, would be tasked with contributing to the work of national healing from county to county, from village to village, from town to town, talking about historical truth-telling, civic education, and programs that promote social cohesion. But the work of healing, however, is not for government alone. It is the responsibility of each Liberian. Democracy is not a spectator sport, nor is it the crowning of any one ruling party. Democracy is the constant exchange of ideas, the clash of visions for the common good. Our opposition parties must be respected, not demonized. They are not the enemy of the state. They are part of the machinery of accountability. A nation where opposition voices are silenced is a nation walking into darkness. Democracy is not a spectator sport, nor is it the crowning of any one ruling party. Democracy is the constant exchange of ideas, the clash of visions for the common good. Our opposition parties must be respected, not demonized. They are not the enemy of the state. They are part of the machinery of accountability. A nation where opposition voices are silenced is a nation walking into darkness. Democracy is not a spectator sport, nor is it the crowning of any one ruling party. Democracy is the constant exchange of ideas, the clash of visions for the common good. Our opposition parties must be respected, not demonized. They are not the enemy of the state. They are part of the machinery of accountability. A nation where opposition voices are silenced is a nation walking into darkness. Democracy is not a spectator sport, nor is it the crowning of any one ruling party. Democracy is the constant exchange of ideas, the clash of visions for the common good. Our opposition parties must be respected, not demonized. They are not the enemy of the state. They are part of the machinery of accountability. A nation where opposition voices are silenced is a nation walking into darkness.
Before we could become journalists today, we are citizens. If there is no way that our country is safe, we cannot practice in our respective professions. When we are at war, pastors will not be respected to go to church to preach. When we are at war, medical doctors will not be able to go to hospitals except on a coercion or sanitary condition. When we are at war, lawyers will not be able to go to court to practice. That's why when you see these things happening, whether you are a lawyer, whether you are working a profession, you got to step down and protect your country so that that country will provide an avenue for you to be the kind of person that you want to be. And that's where we are now. What happened yesterday was wrong. It's still wrong, and no matter what it is wrong. We are seeing things happening in this country, and people are now seeing it as being right because their side is there. And these are things that we got to be standing up. To be a patriot, you have to stand first on the side of the law, because the politicians will go away. The regime will pass away, but your country will stay. The law will stay. Your patriotism vow will continue to stay on. And these are things that we got to stand up for. It doesn't matter how people feel, what kind of side you want to be on. We just got to speak to the truth, and that is very much
important. His Excellency, George Weah, President of Liberia. Our board noted that His Excellency's victory as the African Political Leader of the Year 2023 is a testament to his contributions to promoting peace, African culture and development, youth and sports development, and advancing Africa's agenda globally. It is also a recognition of his critical role in the infrastructural and socio-economic development of his country as well as his people-friendly policies. He has continued to advocate for peace and free and fair elections in the ECOWAS sub-region, and this was demonstrated by a show of statesmanship and iconic posturing by accepting electoral loss and congratulating the winner. While he arguably had options as a sitting president, he chose the path of honor, peace, and the defense of democracy. His emergence reaffirms our position that he has remained one of the continent's leading light, as he had continued to demonstrate great faith in the African project, promoting African dignity and helping to change the negative narratives about the continent.
Choice, not a privilege, not an opportunity, but an obligation. So it is a good day, the 31st day of July 2025, the reign of Judo Christopher. I'm Sam Andrews. Grateful we are to God Almighty, the creator and sustainer of each and every person on earth. Be you good or bad, president, prime ministers, vice president, pro tem, journalists, military personnel, doctors, business people of all kinds, just any and everybody. He is the God of all. We are grateful that he kept watch over us throughout the night and has set us into this day. A great day, beautiful day. Just a great day. Yes, beautiful is something that you can see and describe. So it's a great day. Yes. Today is the 31st day of July. It is called Thursday, the day after the political decree, fast, and prayer or prayer day. The day again that ushers in August. Tomorrow is August 1st. The Bible says, and it shall come to pass. Nothing and nobody can change it. This is the last day of July, and then August, and then September, and November, and December, and then 2026, and then January comes, passes, the rest of the months, and then 2027, bam, the National Elections Commission starts. So be checking, be counting. You will not be counting in vain. You will be counting on purpose. Yes, you will be counting on purpose. You will not be counting in vain, but you will be counting on purpose. Gradually, we're gradually getting there. Moses Ricks, Johnsonville, Kisikem, Abednego Bassi, Bolivar, Gatnosville, Prince Coleman, the Capitol Hill, Ralph Cooper, Denver, Colorado, Musa H. Sharif, New Georgia, Gatnosville, Ambassador Walter Morgan, CDC regular intellectual Melton, David Red, Harper City, Maryland County, Prince Coleman, Amos Joe, Magidi County, Dwight Zone, Samson Perry, Gatnosville, District 11, the Speaker, residents, Frederick Willie, Helsinki, Finland, Darlington, Taylor, Nimba United Community, Mark Barclay, Rubin Cannon, Buakai Zoldua, Macklin Street, Waterside, Sadie CDC, Vinicius Bar, Nuku Town, Claudia de Paul, Masari, Abdullah JJY Community, and Common, Headquarters, Economic Freedom Fighters, William Hoff, Minnesota, the USA, Stephen Yakati, Lower Magibi County, District 2, Diate Topal, CDC. Oh, okay, you're referring to something. Stephen Fowler, Randa Street, Dinah Dennett, Manhattan, the United States, your resident. Edward Dominion, uh, from your City View community. Henry T. Toll, Caldwell, Jackson C. Pony Jr., Action Iron Factory Block C community, member of Block 13 Intellectual Center, Chairman Romancio Latupan, Kenny Ball, or Rico for short, the wonderful melting pot, easier to get along with, connect with everybody irrespective of their status, never an aristocrat or bourgeois, but a common citizen, Rico, or cannibal, as is widely called by everybody. Romancio Latupan, Chairman, District 18 Intellectual Center. Moses Saki, that's Maryland County. Elizabeth Thomas, Waterside. Muffley Cisse, the US, UJ Oneway. Kusaka Dosla, great people, and the list, the names just running down and down and down and down. Okay, so thank you all for coming on. We appreciate all of you. Let's remind you the King Support Basket is still open. It will remain open. Never is it going to close until the fullness of time. Please, you have done so well and you continue to do. We encourage you as per your schedule, whatever, whichever way you can. Yes, it is. On the screen, the number is there 055 0777710178885. Today is 15,000, 10,000, and 5,000. The King's Cash giveaway. You want to hit the jackpot and get your 15,000 after two terrible holidays. You want to get 15,000. I know that you have exhausted most of your dollars, but just take the risk. So dangerous sea, as the pastor can tell you and you do. So dangerous sea. Be like the woman who gave her last and the widow. And Jesus referred to it as widow might end. What happened? God changed her life. So you can be the same. You can do that. Just play your last 200 Liberian dollars or $1.50, and then you can have your 15,000. Now star 79 and star 24 hash play with 200 Liberian dollars or $1.50 US, and then that's it. Let's get started. Time is of the essence. We've got a couple of things on our plate. Let me begin with dates, just in passing, because if we're not careful as media people, we will heighten, inflame, and if caution isn't taken, we will create a conflict that would not be beneficial to everybody. The media had a responsibility. Every media institution has a responsibility. If somebody came on King's 88.5 and spoke, and somebody went out and just said something that the person did not say on King's FM, just a little bit of simple journalism, it is not only onto the person to make the clarification, even if the person doesn't go about making clarification, but that institution, given its credibility and its reputation, that institution can come out and say, the information out is wrong. This person did not make such statement on King's FM or on Real Talk or on Face the Issues or on Let's Talk About It. Besides the person making that clarification, the institution also. The reason why in journalism, the institution does that because the institution credibility is on the line, especially when you find yourself like we are now in a gullible society that most people believe just anything media institution put out. We are in a confused media environment, and if you're not sensitive, you will find yourself in something. I am saying this so when what came out, McGill was on, I think, one of the stations, and in no time, Unity Party people hung onto something that McGill did not say. They put it in another way, just like they did to Edwin Snow and said he said it. Now, the institution, if assume that happened at King's professionally, will come out and make a statement to that. People in the media landscape think that, oh, people have the right, they can just say things, or the institution remain silent because that the person who went on the air and the person said it. So we have to be more professional. We are in an environment that is so messed up, and it got messed up from the Unity Party, the way they go about doing things, hanging on everything, spreading it because they want to prove the point, or they want to bring somebody down from the other side of the political divide. So everybody who speaks, they have something to say. Even if you say nothing, they will still paraphrase something about you in a negative way so that it will be seen as, yes, the past government, everybody lambasting them now, everybody against them. And George Weah was this and George Weah was that. Just like the ANC man who came out. Oh, I forgot. Who's next? Who coming out next? All right, the ANC man. How they call him? Molba Kesali, eh? I think they said special assistant to Cummings. He came out referring to Weah as Liberia's worst president and a joke at best. So that one, he has joined the bandwagon. Who coming out? Who next? What's the next person? Yeah, please. Who's next coming up to criticize Weah and Weah regime? Because listen, we in it now. It's nothing new to us. So we're just ready to hear. We are curious to hear. And that's how you make fool of, you bring the clown out of a person. Who is the next person? Everybody, if you want to speak, whoever, at any time, anyway, anywhere, you can speak against Weah, speak against the government, whichever way. It is your right. You have your right to express yourself. So it will not be a surprise. Interestingly, you people will not be making news. Because, listen, people have heard these things over and over. That's the normal trend of Liberian political society. When Charles Taylor was in power, the interim governor of Judy Bryant, when Charles Taylor was coming and Charles Taylor got in, the people said all kinds of things about Judy Bryant and his government, Sawyer there, all those people who were in that interim arrangement. People said things because they wanted to get favor from Charles Taylor. They wanted to get favor from Charles Taylor. And it did work for them. Some, it did not work for them. When Taylor left the presidency. The people who work, some of the people that work with Charles Taylor, they told people how Charles Taylor could not listen. Charles Taylor was this, Charles Taylor had a bad reign. Let me be specific because I have records. I'm not saying record, I said records. Let me give you one. I think he's still alive. The former Justice Minister of Charles Taylor, Eddington Varma. Eddington Varma. What did Eddington Varma say? Those of you who close to him, you'll tell him, say, Sam Andrews is saying this about you. And he would tell you that, yes, that's true. That's what I said about Charles Taylor. He said Charles Taylor could not listen. Charles Taylor was a dictator. Eddington Varma, he served as Justice Minister in Charles Taylor government. But he was in the nuclear of the government. What did he say? He came out to say a number of things about Charles Taylor. When Charles Taylor was on trial, some of his ministers said awful things about him. But those were the same people who were praising him, who were dining with him, who were doing every other thing, who were telling him to take this decision, who were analyzing in the room. Fast forward, when Charles Taylor was leaving the scene, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf was coming in. Some of the people who condemned Charles Taylor said all kinds of things. They started to praising Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Why were they doing it? Because they were looking for a door to enter. Ellen incorporated some. Ellen did not accept some. Because it is a risk. You're not too sure of any entry when you go about biomorphing, because some leaders are very sensitive. They know morality and immorality. They know that it is immoral to be a part of a system at the close of the day because the system no longer exists. You want to cross over, so you condemn that system you are part of. So they will not give you any space to come close to them. Some leaders are very keen on that. And that's the way to go. So Ellen incorporated some. Ellen did not incorporate some. Then came former President Weah. When Ellen was fading out, what some of them started doing, praising Weah, calling him the best of names, giving him all of the beautiful or the best descriptions from all the dictionaries of the world. Worship. Weah is of the same. They are lambasting him. The same going to happen to Joseph Yuma Boakai. Even a Boakai turned Liberia into heaven. People within his rank will still condemn him when he leaves. The next person that will take the helm of authority after Boakai, people from this unity party, they were praising that person. When that person leaves, they will have awful things to say. So all of you people who are saying that, you're not making news, you're not doing anything extra. The people of this country used to that thing. That the normal trend, crossing over, that how you cross over. Hey, so that things work for you. Some of you, you don't do it to cross over, you do it to get money. 15,000, 20,000, 25,000, 10,000 US. Because the government has money. No government can go broke. You hear government say the broke, they don't get money to do X, Y, Z. But they can have money to pay people who to cost, to lambast the predecessors or certain people so that they get their cash. There are certain politicians who just put themselves up as surrogates. There are certain politicians who allow themselves to be used as surrogates. That means they will call them to a given place and tell them what they want them to do, and then they put the 5,000 US in from them, and then they move. So it is by influence, 1, 2, voluntary. So who is the next person? What's the next name? I guess you can take this as exercise. That will mean anything. The most harmful part of this, you too lambasting the person, you too rubbing your character in the mud, and that character is sycophancy. It is Judas' character. It is Judas' character. Honestly, you don't want to be that way. I am not only referring to politicians or these people in Liberia called politicians. They are not politicians. They are gullible. They are rhetoricians. They are hungry people. They are people who fight for recognition. They are not grounded. No, you find grounded politicians out of Liberia. Grounded politician, one of the core values of grounded politicians, money, is world balance. So it's not easy to be toast to and fro. But the guys here, they are broke. Not because you see them shouting and screaming. Look at almost all of the people who say they are politicians are people who are used, down to the ones who condemn Weah. They were here for rack of ages. They could excel in no way. They could earn nothing better for themselves. They were doing nothing. Weah was playing with thousands of millions of dollars. They were feeding on him, but yet they said that he was nobody. He could not become president of Liberia. In the meantime, the being in Liberia all those years, they never ever extended to any reputable position. We are came from nowhere and reign over them as their boss. That is a curse. That is a curse. So they should be shamed today. So you keep on, yeah? You keep on. You're not doing nothing. I told you yesterday, it will mean nothing to we are. You're promoting we are. You're promoting we are. The person who goes about bar morphing a person, in the eyes of the public, that person is the devil. That person is the demon. If you guys know this thing, you will not be doing that. You're not doing it. Bwaga knows that some of you said some awful things about me. You think Bwaga just drive on his car and became president in Liberia that you know. Bwaga is aware of some of you. Bwaga is aware. There are people who around Bwaga, they know your conduct. So you can say all kinds of things about Weah. It will not carry your inside Bwaga cycle because you will do the same thing to Bwaga. You will start undermining him. That's what God said in Jeremiah 17:9. The heart of man, human being, you can determine it. Because at one point, it sounds good. In a twinkling of an eye, that heart changed, ready to devise evil. Then what did he say in Psalm? He said they can even eat with you. They will come out and say all kinds of things. Psalm 49, 41, 9. What did he say? He said, my own brother, whom I trusted, that share my bread, lift up his hand against me, meaning to stab the person in the back. You look it up. You look up Psalm 41, verse 9. You will see it there. That's what God said. So nothing extra, people. That's not the main topic. Oh, this is the intro. I just saying it because we want to hear many of you talking. Many of you, and you're talking the right time because you know why? It's LA. It's LA. So you keep on talking. Every day we want to hear 2-3 persons. You get on most of these radio stations. You'll just be talking, we are this, we are that, we're not dead, we are this, that. Yeah, let's be singing. And you'll continue to sound like broken record. Simple. You're entitled to your opinion. That's what democracy is. But the public will know that you are a bad character, you are a virus, you are a contaminated character. If you want to get into Bwaka's government, his people will not allow you. Oh, so where do we start? Let's start with this thing. They said it was a protest again at a diamond mineral water factory. They protested today. There was a clash between the aggrieved workers who protested and still protesting against bad labor practice, unconducive working atmosphere. The same place where it was reported by Jimamo Jomo that the HR Moses Delaware told her that before she can get the job, he must have sex with her. The same place.
Chimamanda
Jumbo.
Yes.
Yeah, so what
I
happened?
can't for someone send me to him.
Who?
Who said that I will?
Moses tell her when
Yes, they send me to him for job. And I think he said the only way you will give me the job, I said you sleep with me. And the only way you will ever will give me the job. So I to gosh, anytime I have for work, you will not call me inside. He said the thing I will for me. I was accurate before I start. After I get my training to the house, they need to go to school. I just said people are nothing to do. So I was just forced to get myself to him, but when I'm
so you slept with him.
slept with him,
Who said Moses tell her when
it's like HR,
HR.
yeah.
So you had to sleep with Moses because of job.
Yeah, Moses slept with me for a job.
Where you slept at? What me people see what
We slept in the city.
in the city factory.
Yes.
He call you.
So I'm on Jumbo.
Chimamo Jumbo.
Yes.
Yeah, so what
I
happened?
came for job. Someone sent me to him.
Who?
Moses that I will.
Moses tell her when
Yes, they sent me to him for a job. When I came to see the only way you will give me the job, I said you sleep with me. And the only way you will ever will give me the job. So I to gosh, anytime I have for work, you will not call me inside. He said the thing I want for me. I was accurate before I start with it. I said I get my training to the house. They need to go to school. I just said people are nothing to do. So I was just forced to get myself to him, but when I'm
so you slept with him.
slept with me.
Who said Moses tell her when
It's like HR,
HR.
yeah. Yeah.
So you had to sleep with Moses because of job.
Yeah, Moses slept with me for a job.
Where you slept at? No, me people see what
We slept in the city.
in the city factory. He call you.
So even after we slept, then he gave me the job. So I should start to tell you, say that the relationship is so before you marry. So let it so he said once I in the beginning here, if I want for the relationship to be so, then wish me he will take me from out of job.
Again, they went on the rampage, demanding a better working condition, which is inclusive of good salary, the atmosphere, and every other thing, together with a call for the HR Moses Delaware to be relieved of his position and investigated, given the accusation against him from Jumamo Jomo that he used sex as the precondition to give for the job. Then the government of Liberia did what it felt was right in its opinion. The incident that fled up a couple of days ago that led to scores of Liberians under the banner of Muslim women protesting, demanding for justice because they said that she was not badly treated, but her hijab was desecrated because that's what they said. They were not concerned about how the woman was being treated. We know that for a fact. That's why we're saying it this way. We listen to all of them. All of them, they were concerned about the hijab. So, from a biblical perspective or from a religious perspective, it means that the woman hijab was desecrated. So, if she didn't have the hijab on and that thing happened, they will not have shown concern. So they were not concerned about the woman, how she was being treated, but the hijab. And they claimed against her that she was stealing current, which is second-degree felony under our law with a 7-year jail sentence. They were not concerned about those. They were concerned about the hijab. The police director, too, came out to say that the woman's hijab, which means a religious club, let's just say a religious club in, you say, the Christian, they can say mantle or uh, whichever. So the police director said the woman's hijab was removed. He did not say the incident that occurred needs to be looked at carefully, that she was accused of stealing current, and in the event she started attack by using lethal weapon on the police officer that led to the police officer sustaining several wounds behind his head, which would have led to his death. The police director was not concerned about that. The police director went further to say that investigation will be conducted and that the findings will be released in the soonest of time. In the same vein, the police director said, looking at the video, it requires no investigation, meaning the police officer of officers were wrong. So the protesters arguing on demanding justice on religious ground were excited. The Liberian government soon got afraid because the issue was raised by the Guinean authority. So the Liberian government, Unity Party government, got afraid, assembled a team of mediators, or, well, let's just say mediators, to go to Guinea, headed by Sheikh Mustafa Kuyate. Sheikh Mustafa Kuyate, one of those who was bar muffin Weah yesterday. Waka rewarded him as head of the delegation to go there and bow at the feet of the Guinean government and beg them, humble themselves and say, sorry, we wrong you, Liberia, wrong you. Given why you're so, we are sorry. We beg you, please don't do anything. Because they know Guinea does not have democracy government. A junta government order, and that the junta leader, he doesn't take mess from anybody. He's no respecter of any regional country. So they know that very well. It is based on that they dispatch a team as quickly as possible. A sovereign country, independent, bowing down to another independent sovereign country. Selling your birthright to another person. That was wrong. They only did that because they know the regime in Guinea. They know. The only thing, that's what they told Boakai, we have to do something as quickly as possible. You know, they got all of us aware. We've known, we've seen, we've heard, we've read, we've watched on international television. Let's do something quick. Let's send a delegation there with only one word, sorry. Case closed. The police officer got wounded. Go and treat yourself. Those who protested on religious ground. You're right. So here is the concern now. If this thing has become country to country, then why did the people demonstrate the way they demonstrated? Because it has left from that level to country to country. So this woman, not a Liberian, but a Guinean. Then by logical reasoning, we can see why those people who were demonstrating, not Liberians, were Guineans under the canopy of Liberians. The government is no longer in control, but rather the pusher told the Guinean government, said, "We sorry, oh, we beg y'all, we wrong y'all. Why you saw we take full responsibility, we beg y'all, we hold your full." Because that was Sheku Yate then gone for. They ain't go to do anything but begging. Because you can't do any investigation for Guinea. It did not happen in Guinea. No. So what the delegation went with, one thing in mind, sorry for what happened. We beg you. It will not happen again. All the Guineans in Liberia will protect them. Every person who wearing hijab will make sure that they are protected. How can a sovereign country stoop so low to another sovereign country in this? They were just afraid, that's all. So Guinea will not move and start doing some things around, because when that junta leader faced the camera and said, "This is what Liberia did," already the people still harbor that suspicion about Liberia with that, how they call the guy, that sheriff guy, that they had in South Beach, and overnight he was transferred. Today, his lawyer, Associate Justice Kabidan Jane, cannot give any account. He too said the people took the man and turned him over. That's what Kabidan Jane said, that they took the man and turned him over to the Guinean government. What happened? What happened? He know. So the people still have that thing that Liberia has, this government has this kind of tricky way of doing things. You know, French people, French people, it's just hard for them to leave something when they are suspicious of you. But you see it at various borders. They go, they tell the French, and then they come out. They say, and then they go again. When they coming back, forget it, a different thing. Why were you stoop so low? Why? So every little thing as a country you will beg. It's because you're nothing in yourself. The woman it was alleged that she was stealing current, and the people over there are stealing current. So Guinea was stealing current from Liberia. Just kidding on that. So the Liberian delegation in Guinea, headed by Sheikh Weah, they're begging the Guinean government and trying to create a good atmosphere relationship between the two countries, because that did not go well with Guinea. But in the meantime, there are Liberians in Guinea who are being ill-treated, mistreated, all kinds of things happening. You see the Liberian government concerned? There are Liberians who have been ill-treated badly in some of these regional countries. They are aware. Do you hear them raising any concern? They don't. This is the government that don't care for its citizens. But it is afraid and protect other citizens than its own. There are Liberians in Guinea that are being ill-treated. All kinds of things are happening. What was on the news a couple of days ago about citizenship in Guinea? Did the Liberian government take it serious? They say, no, we're not concerned. Individually, you settle your own thing. And that will take me to former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf's perspective of the orator's address. The former president shared own understanding, yes, about the address. Where do we start? Let's start with the orator, the portion that caused stir. Former President Salif had something to say to that. This portion that caused stir in the address.
The second actor, the role of the church. The Christian church in Liberia, it is time for a deeper awakening, a revival not just of prayer and worship, but of purpose and responsibility. For too long, poverty has been spiritualized, normalized, and even romanticized within the church. But let it be clear, there is no honor in poverty, and there is nothing righteous about economic suffering when solutions are within your reach. The gospel is not only about salvation, it is also about transformation of lives and community. For scripture says, faith without work is dead. Yet too often, our pulpits echo with calls to prayer without equal calls to action. We cannot keep telling people to fast and pray and wait for their breakthrough and the anointing while doing nothing practical to change their situation. We must stop expecting God to walk on waters. He did it once. He's not doing it again. He told me that just this morning. Get your people to work. Liberia is a nation rich in potential, yet the church is one of the most powerful and trusted institutions in this country. Imagine the impact you would make if you were to leverage that responsibility. Imagine the communities in which you reside. What would happen if you began to hold classes on some nights and stop having prayer meetings 5 nights a week and use some of those nights to empower your people? What if you taught them financial literacy, how to open a bank account, and stop telling to sow seeds so that you can drive a better car? Mr. President, I'm almost tempted to ask the national legislature to enact a law arresting clergy for manipulating the people they serve. The church must lead the way in breaking the circle of poverty, not by blaming the poor for their condition or pushing them into passivity. All of us want to go to heaven. All of us want to wear a starry crown. All of us want to walk on street paved with gold. But by damn, what's happening down here? Transform the lives of the people.
That portion of the oration caused stir within the religious community, mainline sector, and Pentecost. Former President Salih, in her post-analysis of the oration, added more spice, stronger one, to the orator's address, that portion. Hear what she said to that. And if the pastors who lambasted and still lambasting Pastor Emmett Dunn, I think they're going to hang on former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. You want to listen to what she said in her analysis. Yeah, you want to hear what she said. Uh, she said, one, Liberia has too many churches whose main purpose is money. One. Two, whether we like it or not, but it's true. That's a way of impoverishing the public and the people. Nobody is against churches. Nobody is against prayers. But you have to have a system because churches get a lot of free things in the country. The former Liberian president, a Christian also, It didn't stop there in her post analysis. She went further to say some churches get duty free privilege. Some churches get duty free privilege because they are churches. And then she will go on with a couple of rhetorical questions. What do they do with those duty-free privileges? Do they use them for church matters? We don't want to get to the stage where we do the Kigami approach. Kigami closed all of them, meaning he closed all the churches. The former president, in her post-analysis of the oration, said that the churches are many, they are misusing duty-free privileges, they are taking advantage because they are church or churches, so they will exploit the system, and they don't want to get to the place where the Kigami star will be introduced in Liberia. That means closing all the churches. Imagine the pastors that are listening right now. Kigami closed all of them. We don't want to go that far. So the churches themselves, the main churches that have been here, the Council of Churches need to address this problem. Because if they do not address it, it may not be today, but it will be addressed. And somebody will come and be very extreme in the policy decision they take. So the churches should purge themselves through the Council of Churches. That's what she said. And then she, on the speech itself in its totality, she said that all Liberians need to read the speech and try to see the depth of knowledge and proposals and information that it carries. Let me quote her verbatim from what we gathered from that post-analysis. She said, read it so that we can ingrain some of those things that he said, calling on the three branches to know that it's not just the president who is the number one person in the country, but everyone who called himself or herself leader must also look at that speech and see what they can do to respond to some of the things that Dr. Dong has said. She goes further. How can our own actions, our own responsibility meet the requirements that he has laid out to achieve, to reform, to achieve the reform that Liberia is necessary to have to be able to meet the development agenda? Nothing that the speech also touched on the structural aspects of the country in a manner that no orator has touched on. She goes further to say things like land reform, things like respect for the Constitution and the laws, by having independent institutions and agencies that cannot be changed or influenced by executive power, worth looking at. What was her position? What did she say about the three branches of government? To deduce that the portion as laid out by the orator worth acting upon for that harmonious alignment. Hear what she said. when the three branches of government are in discord, D-I-S-C-O-R-D, meaning disunity, split, confusion, division. When the three branches of government are in discord, when they are not in full alignment, there is a problem. She went further to say, once you start the kind of discord, then you diminish the constitutional rights of one branch of the government or the other. Again, that's something that has to be addressed. She went further. She said it depends on the severity of, yeah, okay, I think this, yeah, this is another area I just like to run in the other sheet, sorry, to print out. But let me stay within that area. So then she will reinforce or call for the three branches to work together if the government must realize a goal. One branch can be independent of the other. Yes. And did she talk about actions taken, what the president has been doing over the time? Yeah. When the orator said the president should stop suspending and stack. Yeah. Yes. So, okay, I think I get that now. Sorry, I have my notes a little bit upside down. Yeah, what she said, that it is the right of the president to hire and fire, but there are moral and legal issues involved when it comes to suspending officials and replacing them according them due process. According them due process. Like what you see happening. Walker will just suspend. Then you go sit down. When suspend you, you go sit down. What the woman simply said in her post analysis on the workings of the three branches of government vis-a-vis the executive, it doesn't make sense. What Walker is doing, in her opinion, is not a leadership. Suspend without according due process, which is the law, and the person sits. Nothing is happening. Like the situation with Steve Zago, that led Steve Zago to go on air and put out things, accuse Samuel Kofi Woods and Francis Yemale, National Security Advisor and Minister of Internal Affairs, of being the mastermind of his suspension and removal. And you know about the other places that people were just suspended, and his officials were all happy. You tend to wonder what happened with Unity Party people. The president is in blatant error, showing a leadership that is not representative of what they sold to the people, the kind of government they were going to have. Yet they are happy. President suspend, then they're happy. The woman is saying it does not make sense. How can you suspend and you don't give due process? You suspend, the people go and sit down. She said, talking about the gravity of it now, then she said, it depends on the severity of the offense. If the offense is severe enough, yes, you should fire. Again, it is constitutional that everyone has the right of defense. However, the executive, the president, has the right to fire people. There is nothing in the Constitution that stops that. But, the conjunction, but the president does that if the offense takes away from the achievement of the agenda. But otherwise, the person always has the right of defense. If a person is fired and they feel the firing is unjust, they have a right to sue the government. However, she goes further. You cannot suspend somebody and replace them. Teach Mel, teach Boaka 101, governance 101, teach Boaka. She said you cannot suspend somebody and replace them. We got a suspension now. How will you suspend? Then you replace. That's a messy thing Boaka was doing here. Then his people who call themselves educated people excited. Oh, the president suspend. Yeah, the president serious for correction. The president serious for days. We never saw this in the past. Oh, come on. Suspension means you have to get off the job because something happened. Let us try to work our head around it. Once we can get to know, then, and it is resolved, you get back. Or when it is so great and it impinges on the institutional progress, like what she said earlier, then you can move because it should warrant the actual warrant dismissal. But if it does not warrant dismissal, you just suspend because somebody said, Mr. President, suspend the person. They won't say anything. You can replace. You cannot suspend somebody and replace them. If it's suspension, she said, then the person has the right of defense. If in the investigation the person fails, then that's it. But under suspension of anybody, and you appoint somebody, it's just doesn't seem the right thing to do. I don't think there is any law on that. Just suspend. There you go, sit down. On the church bar, I don't know whether you'll find this one will meet your taste, because the woman said she said stronger things than the orator. He said Liberia has too many churches whose main purpose is money. Whether we like it or not, but it's true. That's a way of impoverishing the people, the public, and the people. Nobody is against churches. Nobody is against prayers. But you have to have a system because churches get a lot of free things in the country. Some churches get duty-free privilege because they are churches. What do they do with those duty-free privileges? Do they use them for church matters? We don't want to get to the stage where we do the Kigali approach or Kigami. Kigami closed all of them. We don't want to go that far. So the churches themselves, the main churches that have been here, the Council of Churches need to address this problem. Because if they do not address it, it may not be today, but it will be addressed. And somebody will come and be very extreme in the policy decision they take. So the churches should purge themselves through the Council of Churches. I think the woman is even stronger than the orator. Now, so you get ready to start cursing early, like how you curse Dr. Don because he talked about prayer. Okay, so where do we go? Let's get to. She talked about the opposition too, eh? Yeah. So I talked about that in her post analysis. That will take us to our man, Ugandan opposition leader, Bobby Wine, will take us there since she shared her thoughts on. Did I talk about the opposition? No. No, I didn't talk about that. I talked about the three branches of government, the church. Yeah. We'll do the other one tomorrow. Small. It is a long interview. Long. So those two, the three branches of government working together, let not one branch feel that it is important than the other. The president cannot. Why? It is true that it is within his purview, and everybody who works in the executive corridor works at the will and pleasure of the president, as the Constitution provides or hands him that power. But suspension with replacement and no due process does not make sense. And then the church. Tomorrow we'll look at the opposition. Since tomorrow is Friday, we'll look at the opposition. Let's go to Bobby Wine. It's not easy. Let's go out of Liberia briefly, and let me share with you what is unfolding there with Bobby Wine. The guy is just as strong as Dr. Kize Besigye. I am sharing it with you because these guys are politicians. They are not gullibles and rhetoricians like what we have here. They are politicians. They face up to the system. They don't run their opposition on tribal line, on ethnicity, on religious line, on friendship, on long-time friendship. These are the characteristics that you see with some of the opposition people related to this man. Me and the man came along with, oh, the people ain't get time for that thing. Their concern is the country they face up. Bobby Wine is the opposition, Ugandan opposition. Bobby Wine saying that the political climate in his country has worsened, adding that threat to himself and other activists mobilizing against longtime president Yoweri Museveni have increased. Yeah, he went further to say that the threats he faces as the main challenger come in no unclear terms. It's a constant reminder that the threat is real because this is no ordinary person who talk about himself. He said, this is the person in charge of all organs of violence, referring to Kagame now, not Kagame, but Museveni. He has the military, the police, the prisons. He is above the law, and he has acted as such. We must face him. Just thought to share this with you. The guys here are not politicians. These men have been very consistent, just like Dr. Kize Besigye. These are politicians. They face up to the system no matter what, without fear. But not these ones that you have here. And let me say to you guys who are in the opposition, just like the orator said, you guys have to hold together now. Even though all kinds of things happening within your cycle, but you people have to let go certain things and hold on real good. Yeah. Okay. So let me squeeze this one in as quickly as I can, then we can turn to you people. August 7, protests against drug. We are gradually getting there. We are 7 days away. It's on August 7. It is your right. If you want to be a part of it, fine. If you don't want to be a part of it, fine. It is their right to assemble based on what they have seen of the country, that drugs have overtaken the government. All those who were lambasting the former government, that they brought drug into the country, they drug the young people, all of them now, they are ashamed. They use that as a political weapon. So the women say they are coming out. If you all want to be a part of it, fine. If you don't want to be a part of it, fine. If you ask me for my opinion on that, well, I can tell you no. Why no? Because protest is not good. Protest can lead to violence. Protest can lead to chaos. Protest can lead to violence. Protest can lead to destruction. Protest can lead to violence. Protest can lead to chaos. Protest can lead to chaos. Protest can lead to violence. Protest can lead to chaos. Protest can lead to violence. Protest can lead to chaos. Protest can lead to chaos. Protest can lead to violence. Protest can lead to chaos. 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 Protests can lead to people going to hospital. Protests can lead to people going to jail. We have kept this country peaceful. We don't want any protests. These women, yesterday, they were against July 17 protests. They were preaching the loudest uh, against gospel. So today, now that our time, that's why God said, respect your colleagues when you're doing something, because the time will come, you will need them. So let them go and protest. Do you know that the government organized that one? They have spread the t-shirts already. They printed the t-shirts, everything. And that one part, forget it. Let them go. They are aristocratic women. Aristocrat means the BD people. You get money. You can see them in the cars, the top women there. When you call for protest, you can see them there. July 17 protest. You saw any one of these women? They were not there. They were sitting home, drinking their champagne, getting on Facebook, condemning the protest, saying that Molba Molu and her people were bringing war. Protest is chaotic protest now. They were sitting down in their living room. They were driving their tinted windshield car. They were enjoying themselves. They were saying all those things against the protest. Now, they say they're going to protest too. You ain't see them there. They ain't identify with you. You know the reason why they ain't identify with you? They see you as peasants, as downtrodden, as suffering people, as hungry people. That's why they say they could not identify with you people, because you ain't nothing. So that your time now. In the Bible, God said, you say the people, they don't value, they're not human beings. You can identify with them, no problem. When you in something and you want them to identify with you, when they say no, don't get vexed, because you first did it to them. That's what God said in the Bible. Matthew 7. Right there. He said, just ask, you did this to this person. When your time comes, when they're doing it to you, don't get vexed. Just know that you did it first. That's the reason why the person doing it to you. So let them go. Let all the top women then, the educated women then, let them go to go speak the BB book to the educated, the money lawmakers then. Let them present their petition. Protest is wrong. Protest can cause chaos. Protest can cause war. So you're not joining yet. Yesterday, they said protest was wrong. Molba Molu was in Weah government. That government failed the country, and now because they vest, so we organized people to protest against President Boakai. So let them go and protest against their own people. If you are a sedition, you join that thing. God will inflict pain on you. God will put leprosy on you, just like He did to the people in the days of old. Let Unity Party people, Unity Party women, Unity Party boys, Unity Party girls, Unity Party men, let them go and do the protest. Now the government, they say drugs all over the place. The government say they are going to take the drugs all over the place. They said nothing was going to happen when they get in government. You will not see drugs there. You will not see drugs there. That we have brought it in the country. We have spoiled all the children there, all the young boys, the young girls. When they come to power, no drug will be in the country. That's what they said. Me, I know it because I heard them plenty of times all over. We're listening to them. We're recording. That's what they say. So now they will not complain that drugs killing the children. Let them say Waka infesting the children with drugs all over the place, because that's the same thing they were saying about Weah. They not say drugs have been in this country before Weah came to power, before Charles Taylor came to power, before the interim government Judy Bryan came to power, before even Joseph Jingy Rawa came to power. They said drugs have been around and stay around a normal thing. That one of the leading businesses and other things of the whole wide world, the Ghanaian men will say. They said that one, they put everything on drugs. We have presented it like all the young boys and young girls that died, the other ones that went crazy that Georgia did it. That's why people were so excited to vote for Unity Party. They program you. That one the English man call program. So now, while we having drugs, we should not be having drugs in this country. The president declare drugs as emergency, meaning the government will do everything within its power to make sure it does not have any power in this country to affect anybody. That the government sees it as a threat. So they will face that threat head on. That's the reason they can say national emergency. Put everything into it. So from that time now, like I said, you take drug test. The other people then take drug test. So what happened now? We should not be having drugs in this country, my people. So when you want to go there, I'm telling you in a simple way. When you want to go there, that's your business. That's your right. When you don't want to go there, that's your right. But the only thing I can tell you yesterday, when you were talking, when you were buying your rain boots, your sneaker to go to the protest, when you were announcing that you were going there, they say y'all won't bring war, y'all won't bring Boga government down, y'all want to do all kinds of things that what they were saying all over the place. They were writing because they go to school, they know book. All the women then they were writing, and you heard the people, the other one. You've never heard that group before called Voices of the Elders. But because they stand Solidarity and Trust for New Day, headed by Mamba Molu and other civil society organizations, came and announced the protest July 17. They say they are voices of the elders. The protest is not necessary. Protest will cause war. This country being peaceful, since as was the all kinds of things that are saying. So that they understand. We're not saying they were not protesting. We're just saying the same thing they were saying, that the same thing we're saying back to them. Protest can bring war. Protest is chaotic. Protest is violent. So you don't join them. Because when you join them, they will allow certain things to happen, then they will say that you're. Because you're poor, the police will just tell you and put you in jail. They will get in the tinted windshield cars. They drive on, they go home. You're there suffering. They ain't get time for you. Keep yourself safe. Keep yourself safe. Don't go nowhere on August 7. I'm appealing to you, so you'll be safe. Oh. The Bible says a hint to a wise is quite sufficient. You must use wisdom. These women, they are highly educated people. They get money. They are friendly with all the government officials, the president, everybody. You don't get contact equal to these people. Let these money women, highly educated women who know that drugs is all over the country now, let them go and do the protest to their own government. You don't get nothing to do with it. They say your president and your president get the people drug all over the place, so they came, no drug will be in the country again. So sit down and watch them now. Let them go and do it. Now, yeah, that's all I got to say. I wonder. Then, tomorrow Friday, eh? All right. You can get one for Friday. Yeah, tomorrow Friday. Tomorrow Friday. We'll tell that one. Only that one we'll talk. Only that one we'll talk. Tomorrow Friday. The man going from place to place. The man be having all the activities. Let me put it one here. I say I'm keeping it for Friday, but there are two. The other one, we'll talk it tomorrow. But the one here, let me make you to know. They say Weah was not giving a camp. They say Weah have bad governance. Bad governance means things are strict. Nobody understanding the government. Only the government officials don't understanding it. And you saw that other man, the man who in Weah government, you heard what the man said yesterday about Weah. What kind of thing they were saying? He said no accountability. Waka King, he said he see no money in the cover. Weah said the left this amount of there. The few people that were around Waka when he was coming, they go through. They say, oh, no money there, no money in central bank. Well, we could not give account of this. We did XYZ travel, no account. That's why GSC, Waka said GSC must check, and all the others that GSC did. 99.9% of the audit are on Weah. People, that way you see they will bring it all along, or the former government bring it all along, because the public had been raising concern that it is a politically motivated audit. That's why they brought that thing song away, the patches song away to say about the Ministry of State. Then they say the Ministry of State doing payroll padding, the Ministry of State doing this. Prior to that, watch all the reports that GSC came up with. 99.9% were doing Weah government. So they just put out one there and so they would say, oh yeah, GSC and not biased. But all GSC audit is politically motivated. You think Boaga would sit down and GSC would do anything neutral? No. Got to bring it already. He wants to persecute everybody from CDC. So you saw the report, you follow the trend. They say we are traveling, we are organizing activities. No account. All the time they will have press conference talking about this, talking about that. Sit down and do a simple recall of all the activities that President Boakai organized. Ask which one of them his office ever report to the public the amount spent. You know how many thousands, amounting to millions, that was spent on the reburial and burial of the those, and that quote unquote giving trouble to a reburial, and prior to that, all the activities coupled with the president's travel here and there, put all those activities together. See how much money, your money, taxpayers' money, went into it. We're talking about pretty close to 7 8 million United States dollars. As Mr. President ever reached the decision that, look, my people, you gave a report on this. You gave a report on the reburial. The woman sitting down there, the woman who they put in charge of that reburial something, and how they call it, said the looting, massacre, reconciliation, that thing they did with trouble. That the information, not information about education minister, Dr. Jaso Mala. They're thinking about how they expended the money to give report. When their own men talk American, then they curse him. No accountability. This government has never accounted for anything since it came to power. But they'll be on we are government, they don't do this. The Minister of Information should be the one giving reports, expenditure report on these activities. Then the people say, yes, this government is serious. This government is a government of accountability. Come and tell the people the reburial of XYZ. The government spent this amount. Yeah, this one, XYZ amount. And let the people sit down and digest and analyze it. Then we put that what they call good governance, open government, government of transparent, or transparent government. Have you ever seen it? Bring to mind the number of travels President Boaga made. Yesterday, we consider it, let's accept it as the reality. So yesterday, they said we have made a couple of travels all over the place. You are spending the country money. You sit down in America, watching football, using the country money. He was not giving account. We are its history now. That is why you need to come now and say the reburial. The government spent 300,000. Then the people start discussing 300,000. What this man went to? Just like that. You reporting to the people. You owe it to the people. What they call transparent government. The president did 5 travels. 3 to Europe, or 2 to Europe, 3 in Africa. These are the expenditure. You ever hear anything like that? You never hear anything like that on tape. Worker leaves. But yesterday, they were vocal. You see it? Everybody in the CVOT, then he can't talk about no business as usual. When he is the chief business as usual. Let's go to you. Yeah, let's read some of the comments first. Keep playing the King's Catch giveaway. It's 15,000. Dial star 79 and star 24 hatch. Play with 200 Liberian dollars or $1.50 US, and then you can get your 15,000. We are headed into the weekend. You want money? If you can get away, it's up to you. Then you can get in the church and just be praying and praying and praying and hoping that God will answer your prayer because you are praying 5 times. Well, you're doing well. Just share it, please. Just share the show. Yes, share it as many times as you can. Okay, Matthew Cholo, please said those so-called ungrateful Liberian women to tell Walker and his son to stop bringing drugs in Liberia because yesterday they were saying it was just Weah who was bringing drugs and spoiling their children. Ambassador Walter Morgan said former Speaker Alex Tyler and 41 other lawmakers refused to declare access as Ombudsman called for immediate suspension. Ombudsman, don't mind that thing, man. Ombudsman is just a toothless bulldog. Yeah, a toothless bulldog. Emmanuel Broad said ex-President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf is very right. I truly believe what she said. Thank you, Madam Sirleaf. Gabriel West, the entire UP is a scam and fraud. P. Stevenson Joa said, Did I hear that Liberia sent delegation to Guinea to tell Guinea sorry for the misbehavior of the Fula woman? Yes. Yes. He said, where is this country really going? Yes. That delegation is headed by Sheikh Kuyate. Um, Sheikh Kuyate. Okay. So let's turn to you now. You can have your say on these pointers. It's all red today, just so you know. All red at the blood Jesus. Yeah, they had their prayer, the fast prayer. So we're rebuking them. We're rebuking them. And the reason I wore all red, the blood Jesus. Anybody bring prayer, your political prayer thing around, say the blood Jesus. So let's go. 0772 23 99 33 0886 30 44 97 0777 9803 75. Hello. Good. Good. This is Pastor Walker. I'm familiar with your voice, or getting familiar, I guess. Pastor Cooper. Yeah. Let's hear you.
Yeah, first I want to thank you for the breakdown of these points. And I want to speak quickly to our former president message to let's say post message. Let's be honest, right? We have religious rights within the constitution. And if you look deeply like God was founded, like they say, on a Christian principle. And the Declaration of Independence all out of the Baptist Church, the Providence Baptist Church. So we are in the constitution. The church bless the country. So you have it in the constitution, the religious freedom. That's the first thing. You can't do it like what happened in Kigali. You honor the constitution, we have right, religious right. The second point is the judicial privilege is not given to churches. I run a church in an NGO on many occasions. Even her regime for 2017 were denied tax exempt. We pay taxes in continue to bring in the country. Even our churches are registered with the government through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and in our business registry. So we pay taxes to the government. So on that note, the next thing, biblically, the contract we pay time to the church in Malachi 3, 8 to 10. Is it in a nation rock? What nation rock was? So the government has said we are protesting the effort. Are you hearing me?
I'm listening to you, Pastor.
The church is protesting government effort Most of the churches, Orthodox churches, some were selling lacking, even the Latin Baptist mission. Anyway, the higher paying teachers institution, the same teacher, higher amount of money than any government institution. So the government should understand that it is give and take. But we, the church, are in the what is yes.
She also said you agree with her. She also said you should sign out everything, all that you people are through the Liberia Council of Churches.
Yeah, most of the churches we do not I told you earlier, the blood cancer churches are not represented in Liberia. We honor the Pentecostal Association of we are Pentecostalism. Then they got the blood cancer churches honor the World Council of Churches. We the Pentecostal Association of we fall under the World Pentecostal Fellowship. So there are differences in terms of denomination and doctrine. So we fall under the Pentecostal denomination.
You agree with her? You agree with her, Pastor Walker, that Pastor Cooper, that the churches are too many?
Yeah, likewise, the schools are too many, the churches are too many. And then in some way, I agree with her because the fact is that if you do church planting, the estimate of money you cover before you establish a new church. It's likewise the schools. So we issue the license for the schools with the Ministry of Education. So they don't look at the regulatory body. Anybody can establish church anywhere. Anybody establish school anywhere. We get one of the churches in my facility in Johnsonville. So they have become an embarrassment. She's right on that point. But it is the government also. Where do you have your church or where do you want to establish your church?
So if you agree with her, Pastor, if you agree with her, then that means you also should agree with her when she talks about regulation by and through the Liberia Council of Churches.
Yeah, the reason is Liberia Council of Churches covers the Orthodox churches. The fourth gospel covers the Pentecostal churches. So there is a difference. So we will subscribe to the Pentecostal Association of Liberia, which is covered by the World Pentecostal Fellowship. So Liberia Council of Churches cannot control all of the churches in Liberia. Because in the first place, they do not have a holistic program for the churches in Liberia. Nobody feeds from them, nobody cares from them. The Pentecostal churches are independent Pentecostal churches that are established under the doctrine of Pentecostalism. So you can't control who has a problem. But we Pentecostal for a Pentecostal conference. So that needs to be clear.
Okay. All right, Pastor Emmanuel Walker.
Cooper.
Pastor Emmanuel Cooper. Head Sion Pastor, what's your church name?
War Refuge Temple in Johnsonville. War Refuge Temple in Johnsonville. Temple will tell precise.
War. W-O-R-D.
W-O-R-L-D.
Oh, War Refuge Temple.
Yeah, War Refuge Temple.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, Pastor. Thank you for making your input.
Thank you, sir. You're welcome.
Hello.
Yes. Good afternoon, Mr. Andrews.
Good afternoon.
Thank you very much, Mr. Andrews. I'm Spencer Mohammed, the fourth Mapupo Kono, Down Coast Studio, Western Community. Mr. Andrews, I listened to you as you went to pointers. But my attention has been drawn to the one that has to do with the governance. In the last 6 years, we hear our brother from Up Broad Street saying that President Buakai was experienced. He had 42 years experience in governance and knowledgeable in governance. Right down the year, he went and then took to mesmerize the population on the quality that Joe Buakai was experienced, and he was going to introduce good governance and a responsible government. How come? It's immediate teaching him as a governance today. Telling him the court of 42 years experience there about suspension of government. And just anymore Buakai, lawyers, people that was taken with them, came here to justify that the decision that Joe Buakai was doing in governance was an act of fatal correction. And today, his boss is speaking about governance. Is that the 42 years experience the boast of? Mr. Andrew, for which they instead We were telling them about governance,
All right.
and you cannot sustain, you must investigate the process of suspension. Andrew, much is to be said, but the times are limited. But we always come to hit the point at the time we want. Thank you very much because the time we can make our opinion here on that issue. Thank you. Long live Nigeria and long live the people who are making in my country. Thank you very much.
Will you encourage your house to be a part of the August 7 protest against drugs?
I the right to solve before the public told me my position. I am the damn thing. How will I join the elite? Who has trusted us over the years? We use the blood of our brothers and sisters in the path of Christ unto power. How will I jump with them?
Okay,
all
sir.
they know is to live in my blood. Who will not be part of them? Thank you very much, Mr. Andrew.
Hello. Hello. You are on the air. Hello.
Hello?
Yeah.
I'm Doro Josiah from Bananville, Quebec.
Where's that you do, Josiah? The home of the speaker.
Hello?
I know District 11. Yeah, but District 11, that's the home of the speaker now. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
You people are privileged.
To the woman that accepted the police officer, he responded, never responded, and the Nigerian government went to beg Guinea. I have problem with that. The woman can inspect the man, but not to accept the police officer it is against the rules or the constitution of Liberia for women and allow with stranger beating on, striking on our Liberian flag. It is even wrong to the. She had the right to take it to the police, but she don't have the right to strike Liberian officer. It's wrong. So Liberian government have no right to go to Guinea and go back. I find it futile on that. I found of it. It is we are selling our sovereignty to Guinea. If the woman does not satisfy with our ruling, we'll get back to Guinea. But she don't have the right to go and accept our police officer, whether he's wrong or not, whether he's a donor or not. She don't have the right to do so. That's my point. So we don't have the right to go and beg the Guinea government.
All right, Steph. Thank you. Hello.
Sam, thank you. Good afternoon to you. Sam, this is Hussein Kerry. I call from around Deesville, district number 11, in the Speaker district. Sam, let me say this. I'm not a student of international relations, not a student of diplomacy. When you read through and have enough time, let me tell you that the government is in no wrong for extending apologies on behalf of the government. Sam, here in Liberia, I'm a Muslim, and I follow that entire story. That lady was completely wrong. In fact, Islam is not a religion of violence. That is a crime under the law. You were stealing current. The police went in order to make some inquiry, and then you went about insulting and assaulting.
Remember, we passed that thing. We're talking country to country.
Yeah, so said the government is in no error. That is a diplomatic, or format that the government is. So people who saying the government went to Guinea to beg, no, it is not about begging. Because you listen to the foreign minister, I don't know why you listen to that accent. The way he sounded is that they were already about to send dedicated people like you to make some inquiry. So the government very prompt. So I sent a dedicated Guinea. Initial conversation around the apologies on behalf of the president and the government. So that is no, that is no mistake from the government. That's diplomacy. People need to understand some of those things, man.
All right.
I don't know. Those are petty things when they don't understand.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Sam.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Anthony.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yeah. Uh, Thank you for the talking point. But I'm a bit confused on this little issue where our government has going to give it to which one is what is saying this and the Hajjah? Is it the heart or the Hajjah? The Hajjah is just a symbol that our woman said is based in her. If she will get her and not police officer have to take a wounds on her, what is the use of symbol? So the Liberian flag is more than the Hajjah. That is it. Our nation, the flag I want that man buried, they're killing, and I want flag our nation. Is what they are saying. I'm taking it back. I'm confused. I don't know what to say about it. Anyway, I'm Pastor D from Johnson Hill.
Oh,
Thank you.
Pastor D what?
Pastor Alexander GD.
Pastor D.
Yeah.
You have what the former president said in her analysis of the oration delivered.
No, I didn't listen to her.
But the woman said, yeah, the churches are too many. And
yeah, but the churches are too many, but the church is no. What we're talking about, I'm a pastor. I will wear my chronicle and go out and have a chronicle or instruct somebody. So a person come to join me and take up the chronicle is what the church will go after. The church is Jesus is a king of the Lord. The kingdom is built in our heart.
She also said that you're being abusing, misusing duty-free privileges.
If these things do not happen, the sin is completed out. Where will the church go? The church has Jesus told the disciples about forgiveness. When you reach the point that you should forgive sometimes something, which is for the man the disciple was taking, but he said, no, not that. Forgiving. And treat that person as a what? Sinner. Well, how we treat the sinner, we continue to go to them and minister to them that we teach them around. There have been many. The churches have been many because as the population is increasing, so the churches have been many. Jesus said we 12 disciples. But as he went on, he constituted another 72 and he sent out a came up with results.
So you disagree with her on that, eh?
Yeah?
You disagree with her on the churches are many?
I disagree with her. I disagree with her. I disagree with her. The government is running the ministry or our representative in seats were less than 50. Today we have, 73, right? People think about tearing it up. The population is increasing. The word of God is spreading. Jesus started with 12. In 3 years now, he went to 72.
Okay, Pastor. Thank you so much, Pastor D. Thank you. Have a nice day. Yeah. The ombudsman released their position on the assets, 12 senators and 29 representatives. They have not declared their assets. The 12 senators, Alex Tyler, Simeon Taylor, Goto Kane, Zoe Emmanuel Peno, Thomas Yaya Nimlin, Wellington Javon Smith, and Bill Tuawe. Others are Nimine Batikwa, James Barney, Sir Joseph Samuel Koga. 29 representatives have not publicly been named, but their identity has been submitted to Speaker Richard Kuhn. For what? So that they cited what? Section 4.1 of the Code of Conduct, which requires all public officials to declare their assets, and that the office of the ombudsman is monitoring compliance and will push for enforcement. Your fun place to go say that, man. The ombudsman office is headed by Joseph Waga Mime, one of his Mime, Councillor Finlay Kanga. The man wore Unity Party t-shirt. We saw the man. The man was celebrating, campaigning for Bwaga. Y'all go say that, man. The whole thing upside down. Your press chocolate on yourself. Hello.
Hello, Andrew.
Yeah.
This is Pastor Cole from the True Apostolic Church of Christ.
Oh, but why you pastors you're calling in your drum so? Why you're Ellen Church, you're just like the orator, eh?
No, I don't know. You don't know what she's saying. The one want me to understand.
How will you say the woman you know what she's saying? Okay, let's hear you.
What I'm saying, Jesus said we should go into the world and preach the gospel. So every part of the world, every community, every neighborhood, that tomorrow nobody will get excuse to say, I was living no choice there. So it's not a matter of self-interest. It's the one matter there is for the real gospel to be free. So churches being planted in that matter. So the one said she don't know what she thinks. So that thing she's saying for herself.
But the woman is a Christian now. She has an understanding of the Liberian Christian community.
What?
She is a Christian. She has an understanding of the religious sector of Liberia.
No, but if she is a Christian, she will not come up with those statements. She is not a true Christian. She is not a true Christian.
So the other one, she thought that churches are using or misusing duty-free privileges given to them. So that one, she knows what she's saying too.
The duty-free privileges is, how to call it, the opportunity is being given to churches. I don't know the church that them misusing it. A church will come out with a name of the churches that them misusing it. So I don't see any church misusing the duty-free privilege.
So she also said that you need now to pass through everything, work with the Liberal Council of Churches to address some of the problems that are unfolding in Liberia.
It's a problem, which problem that is students.
Oh, also, but all the things that I said about the woman in her address, you understand it? And that's what you addressing.
Mr. Andrew, the woman, she is not a Christian.
So who is a Christian now? Who is a Christian?
The true follower of Christ.
But the woman is a true follower of Christ.
No.
Oh, because she's not pastor, or she's not pastor or deacon or apostle or prophet. Pastor, your line cracking. Just walk away from where you are small. It's the weather.
Okay.
Yeah. So conclude.
We have two religions, Muslim and Christian. There are people who claim to be Christian and they are not Christian.
All right, Pastor. All right, Pastor, thank you. Your line is cracking. Let's turn to Winnie. Hello?
Okay.
Yeah. What is your name? What is your name? You just start talking. You gotta call your name. Huh? I'm getting you to clear. Your line cracking. No, sorry, your line cracking. Finish your location. Hello?
Yeah,
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, this is the man command. On the airfield.
Let's hear you, Mr. Kramer. cut off your radio. Cut the radio off.
I love what the former president said. It's true.
Cut off your radio. Cut off your radio. Cut off your radio. Listen, hey chief. Cut off your radio. Come on, cut off the radio. If the radio is off, you have the spoon or speaker. It's still there, but you are not even understand yourself. Let's hear you, yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't know, sir. How are you?
Good afternoon. I'm fine.
Yeah, this is Esmoka. Look, you know, this is the problem that we, the Christians, we are having with one another. They want to tell us in the word of God, which is true, but then they don't want to accept what is true. You know, why is some of the president has said that you refer to a statement as not being follower of Christ? What Christ did when you were here? Everything that you talk about, humanity Christ was involved with. He preached when there was a need for him to preach. He taught when there was a need for the teaching system. He healed. When there was time to provide food for the people, he provided food. When there was a need for you to go get money, to pay taxes, he went to got money, he paid his taxes. Why would you have a year? What the Bible?
Jesus.
Don't just people say about the financial healing.
Jesus paid taxes.
When you went to the worker to pay the fish and take the money from inside when they were giving the money at the time, what was that?
Okay.
Okay. So you see, we are talking about the physical healing as well. See? When I did evangelism, the God that taught me evangelism, God said, when they are members, they come to you in the church, the first thing, go down in your bath, in your ex-bath, far bottle of juice, far bottle of water. I say whether they want to cool their death. Before you can listen to what they have come to tell you, if you does that, he or she will be able to come down so that you be able to look at the physical mood before you go to the spiritual. He or she has come to you with a serious problem that they are faced with. You straight to go and open the door and start preaching to them. That message isn't going to get anywhere. That's what we are saying here. See the light, some of the members are laughing around you. So when these things come, or is it really because you are pastor, because you are bishop, you shouldn't accept the wrong fact. The only thing you do, you accept the improvement and work towards it. But then way, that traditional way of doing things, and figure it in Nigeria.
All right, Mr. Khan.
Okay.
All right.
You must preach, or
Thank you.
get an offering, or get a tithe. That's all. No return.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Great. Have a nice weekend. Yeah. Okay. Where do we go next? The orator blasted. They said, "Man blasted that Ellen make it Wezo." Just people call and then where you go then? I mean, the alien address we're talking here, I'm talking about like all kinds of churches.
Yeah, but then the churches, all the missionaries talking to us. Why they were created for?
The woman said, the woman said, even though the orator ain't mentioned whether churches are many or not, he only talks about prayer, and churches ought to start empowering the people. They anger most of the pastors. Ellen, in her review of the entire oration, she said it's good. People should read it. And then on the church issue that caused so much confusion, she thought to share her own idea. So she said the churches are too many. Two, they are misusing duty privileges given to the church. Liberia Council of Churches have to coordinate.
We got over 2 million churches in the country. Not to say the demons overcoming us. So they are the demons. They are look at it. The day we dissolve the national churches, you will see what will happen. I will revisit other created it. You will see what will happen.
Oh, the Council of Churches is the problem?
Now, I believe.
Is a belief or a fact? Which one?
I believe that they are the problem for the country because I see the gospel that is preaching that brings salvation for us.
All right. Thank you, sir.
More people.
Thank you. Hello.
Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, Pastor.
Let's hear you, Pastor.
Calling from Bravo.
Let's hear you, Pastor Kekula.
Man of God, you are saying that things from the orator mouth and the human person, they are demonic.
Demonic?
How will you say very demonic?
How? Now, explain that. No, hold on. When you say demonic, explain the demonization.
The demonization is that we are not speaking against networks that are spreading. Why she have to speak against churches spreading? That is demonization I'm speaking of.
So who is demonized now?
They're the one that demonized. They're the one that demonized. Because if you talk about the churches spreading, usually it's better to spread the church and the network. Which one? Which one prefer? The church is making impact. That's why others are doing it for personal aggrandizement, but others are doing it for clear motive. That is clear. But we look at networks that spread all over and they are not saying anything about it. But then at church, they're talking about.
So when they talk about the church, they can hear your bad way, eh?
Indeed, over here because the church, the impact the church is making is more beneficial to the nation than that of the network and the children are all over the place.
What is the impact? What is the impact the church is making?
One, the churches are one opening schools, broadcasting government efforts. It's also opening on schools, all the schools, same-day schools.
You want to name few?
Like my own church. The community for myself, I open a church that I open a school under the church and say less than $8,000.
What is the level of the school?
It's elementary.
What's the enrollment?
The enrollment they go school here we have about 200 students.
So that's the impact you are making as a church.
We are making impact. All parents are coming. Instead of we invite our children. The kind of impact the church is making.
One of the arguments that you people exploit the people and you segregate. Listen, Pastor, listen. Now take your time. Listen, let's take your time. I was listening to State and Religion a couple of weeks ago, and this is one of the concerns that you pastors set up churches and your members really do not have. You don't see the need to actually lower their price. Instead, just if you would take 8,000 from outsider, you would take the same 8,000. Just to put it that way, so you understand. So most of the members, they don't have that kind of treatment, and they work in the church. They do a lot for you people, yet they are exploited that way. Is that true?
That's true. That's true.
Okay.
That's true. Except for those Orthodox churches, for us, the quote-unquote grassroots churches.
All right, Chief.
The quote-unquote grassroots churches, we have our members.
All right, Pastor. Thank you.
Thank you, bro.
Hello.
Yeah, Andrew.
Yeah.
Good afternoon. This is Elder Council.
Yeah, Elder Council. Let's hear you.
The pastor then they were serving. Because when they on the pulpit, he said the word of God is a two-edged sword. You can leave the scripture and be addressing human beings. So that you were serving. Now the second point is
our flag that the Fura want to on the ground. Then they were telling us that it will be no independent. Instead for them to go into investigation, then they go bring the people, telling the people that our police officer for our flag is. And they can say that what kinds of things to their own citizens, then they're afraid of the Guinean people. They're afraid of the Guineans. Because they're afraid of their friend or the citizens, then Gregory come out there to Idi Amin. Yes. Thank you, sir.
All right, Edo Kazu. Thank you. Okay. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, yeah. Hello.
Yeah, Mr. Andrews and Chief Chat Andrews calling from Canada.
Let's hear you, Ambrose.
Okay, what the former president said about the number of churches, I disagree with her. Because it is a Christian country. You can't tell me you go to social media, you say the mosques are so many. You can say that the way the function of the regular churches, that's what matters. Are they doing the right thing? When it comes to the free privileges, they are very misusing their support on that. You find out that, and these are the privileged churches. You have one lay Pentecostal church on that side who is really preaching, you can't imagine people to find them where they to get free privilege. But the big churches that we know, we don't have to give their names. They have to get free privileges. They are members can put a car and use it for the church name, and the car will come through that port, and they get a freedom charge, which is not the church car. It's an individual member of the church that owns that car. So I disagree with her when she comes to talk about that there has too many churches. We're supposed to have many churches to win so. But when we come to the free privilege, she is right. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much for calling to and spicing it up, my dear. Thank you so much. Yes, I think this is the last call, and he couldn't have put it better. Yeah, he's right. And if you listen carefully as I ran down her points, when she talked about that, she did not mention the church or churches, but you sense that she knows that the mainline churches do have that influence. Most of the people in government, Pentecost or charismatic and mainline, mainline in they say Methodist, Catholic, Baptist, Lutheran, Episcopal, those are churches that refer to as mainline churches. I do not know why they are referred to mainline churches, but that's how they are referred to, which means a boundary between day and Pentecost. So those who are not mainline churches, they are referred to as either Pentecost or charismatic. Both of them have people in government, in the private sector, everywhere. So they, over the years, they have had this privilege to pay no duty on anything we brought in the country. So somebody will sit in America and say, over the years now, over the years, with time they've been misused because over the years the government had not been strong on it. They have not even been talking about it. And just so you know, lest I forget, a couple of days ago, they had several religious leaders from in Liberia, out of Liberia. They came together to discuss issues of national concern and regional issues. You had Methodist, Baptist, Catholic, Lutheran, Pentecostal pastors, all of them were there. They Archbishop of the Catholic Church, Monsignor Gabriel Blamo Jugbe, and how they call Bishop Samuel Choir, Bishop Samuel Choir of the Methodist Church, head of the Methodist Church, they were very clear on the same thing that you people are reacting to. Some of you people, the duty-free privilege that Ellen talked about. What did the Archbishop of the Catholic Church say? The same thing, that churches were taking advantage, some churches, not all now, some pastors, some priests, some apostles, bishops, were taking advantage of that. And it was an issue they needed to look at real good. There were other issues to talk about, but this one, because the guy that just left the line, he summarized everything. Yes. So I thought to inject that. I talk about that. Here we play the voice of the religious leaders. So Ellen said it. Listen carefully. She's very smart. She will not go on to say Methodist, Catholic, Baptist, Lutheran. She is in that mainline sector, and she knows the influence they have. She knows how to manipulate the system, just as Pentecostal people to some Pentecostal people. So on the duty-free privilege, hear what she said. You want to listen carefully and you will understand. She said some churches get duty-free privileges because they are churches. Some churches get duty-free privileges because they are churches. Think that some churches get duty-free privilege because they are churches. You know what that means? Because of their position, their status, how they can get in, how they can influence, how they can make a call, and all of those things. She doesn't have to say Methodist, Catholic, or Pentecost, meaning the elite churches. So the pastor can just say if there is a problem, the pastor, a Methodist pastor, Baptist pastor, Lutheran pastor, or bishop can just say, okay, I'll call the manager of Freeport. And he takes the telephone. He rings and say, oh, I have my XYZ over there for my church, and there's this problem in getting it out. And then say, Bishop, man of God. So I'll just give me the next 10 minutes. I will make sure that everything. So everything process, the duty isn't paid on it. So over the time, people have been using that now. Somebody in America or any part of the world sending things to the people. They will pass it through the church and say that church material. When it comes down, so when it comes on the ground, then the people go and take it from the church compound and carry it and start selling. Most of those, how they can call it, borrow things that you see, they came on church name, through church. No duty pay on it, nothing. Somebody sent car for the pastor. They say, but man of God, I get one car here for you. And you only need to do X, Y, Z. Or I know. The pastor say, okay, you know what? Just put it in the church name. Just say this church from X, Y, Z, or from America, or England, or Tajikistan, or Uzbekistan, they're sending it to this church in Liberia. That's how people were operating over the time. And still today. So when she talked about that, that's what it means. So it's not wrong. It's not wrong. But people were exploiting it. People were taking advantage of it. When she talked about the churches are many, there's nothing to anger or to get angry or to get emotional. No. When she said the churches are many, are too many, the churches are small or limited. When you are emotional, you will miss out on the logic. And if you have no idea, but you think that you are this person, and that's what You see, most of you people who say you're Christians, you're all over the place, oh, you must know God for yourself. That simple thing here. You see that? It doesn't get emotional. No, it doesn't make sense. Our understanding of church is structure. And the people who often argue that the churches are many, their argument is on structure. You ain't get the concept. Anybody said that the churches are many in Liberia, I will be excited. Where my excitement will come from? Because I know that they're looking at structure. They are looking at structure. That's why they said too many. The churches are too many, and the churches ought to be too many. But the structures are limited. So you get one structure because that's how they understand it. When you hear somebody say from any side, oh, the churches in Liberia are too many. As far as they're concerned, they think church, that structure. So you hear them say when you pass in a corner, that one's in rank church. You pass in a corner, that their understanding of church. That is why you people who, when you are a Christian, and if you're in a church, and the pastor is just prophesying, and not teaching, you will be you when people say something, you won't even know how to give any response. Just as Paul, God will say in Peter, sanctify the Lord in your heart and be ready to give a reasonable defense of your faith. Reasonable defense means just like I'm saying now, you explain. The person said this because this is the understanding that the person has. But yeah, is the right one. Look at the churches. You know what church is? The church that a human being. That a human being. So if somebody said the churches are too many, then the person telling you that they see their understanding of church is the structure. Anybody who is a Christian is the church. And everybody ought to multiply. That's why you have soul winning. And that's why you have the Great Commission in the Bible, Matthew 28, that everyone is commissioned to spread the gospel so that the gospel have that multiplier effect. It's that simple, not hard to understand. I've heard this thing many times, and I just laugh with him because people you know, and that's why you have to educate people. That's what it is. So when former President Stalin say the churches are too many, our understanding of church structure. Matter this, when you have 500 persons under that roof, you got 500 churches. 500 churches right there. When you have 1,000 persons in a Pentecostal sector under that roof, that 1,000 churches there. That 1,000 church or churches ought to produce another 1,000, and that 1,000 produce another 1,000. So what you have 5,000 churches. Simple. The duty-free privilege power, I agree with her on that. Even before the orator address, in her input, I told you of the pastoral gathering of pastors from different countries regionally discuss certain issues regionally and domestically. And one of those issues that the church ought to address is duty-free privilege stuff. How people were misusing it, pastors, churches were misusing it. So she's right on that. This third thing is, the third thing she said that I differ with her, that it should pass through the Liberia Council of Churches. Mm? The Liberia Council of Churches, what did she say to that? Let me help you as we go. She said, so the churches themselves, the main churches, how many times she used that expression? Churches, main churches, 2 times. So the churches themselves, the main churches that have been here, the main churches that have been here, not the Pentecostal people, the Pentecostal that just yesterday. The churches that have been here, Baptist, Catholic, followed by the other. Those are what you're referring to when you say the churches that have been here. So the churches themselves, the main churches that have been here, the council of churches need to address this problem, because if they do not address it, it may not be today, but it will be addressed. And somebody will come and be very extreme in the policy decision they take. So the churches should wash themselves. The churches should wash themselves through the council of churches, cleanse themselves. Let the council of churches do the cleansing. To wash means to raise or to cleanse you of something, or you clean yourself of your faith, the dirt, the stain. This word is used in the Bible many times. Purge. They say, meaning to cleanse, to remove. So it's saying that the Liberal Council of Churches is that institution that should clean all these mess that are going on in the religious sector, mainline, Pentecostal mainline sector. So you pass everything through the Liberal Council of Churches, which, in my opinion, is another thing. It doesn't make sense again. No. The Council of Churches already is politicized. The Council of Churches itself is desecrated. So you can have churches or pastors going through the Liberal Council of Churches, or the Liberal Council of Churches be that institution to purge these people of their so-called filth, corruption, and all of those things. No. Thank you all. That's all the time we've got for Weah Talk on today. At least we talk it Weah. Tomorrow, we're back, if God permits. Today is Thursday, the last day, the 31st of August. Tomorrow is the 1st. We're back tomorrow. Until then, at 8 o'clock, face the issues with Anthony at Law, Teacher Light, A.B. Weah. You don't want to miss it. We're back tomorrow, if God permits. I'm Sam Andrews. Shalom.